Heyo, good morning for you in the States. Good afternoon here in Sweden. Good almost tomorrow in Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and wherever you are. And we are back to Verdict Watch. And still no news from the court if verdict will be in today. But then again, he has had the entirety, or the judge, that is, has had the entirety of the Labor Day weekend to reach a verdict and to formulate his conclusions and why he came to the verdict. Oh wow, first time follower. Hi Ivila. Welcome. And since we might have a few new here, completely new, I'm Nick. I'm a junior rep. I do labor law. I'm Swedish. So yes, I am one of those that has some actual degree in this, and I have training in, well, more or less everything, but I focus on labor law. And with that, I evaluate evidence, I evaluate witnesses and witness testimony, changes in testimony, everything that comes around. And I try to translate everything into layman terms. I really do. And if you have additional questions, if you think you're nonsense, Nick, write something in the chat and I will try to explain. So that's me, and I'm here from my farm in southern Sweden. So that's me. Thank you all for showing up, and thank you, everybody, returning viewers. I see Sally's here, Erin, Kim Walker, Teresa, Jessica, Michelle, Christine Fortunato. Yeah, there's a bunch of folks here. And while we wait for, first, YouTube stuff, and you know it, thumbs up, subscribe, and watch much content. And if you're happy with me, becoming a returning viewer and everything, consider becoming a member. It's on a button down here somewhere. And it's $3 a month, And with that, you get members-only content, and you get a link to my Discord, where you can continue debating and discussing the cases I cover, and give tips on what else I can cover, and stuff like that. There, YouTube stuff over, and what else? Yeah, today we have two focuses while we wait. And it will be about a 2-hour stream. So we will go through a bit about Mr. Dinkins' rap sheet, and that was an interesting read. Oh, yeah. And if time allows, we will also check out a few slight differences in the testimony between Andrea, Henry's then girlfriend, and DL, but only if time allows. So that is what we are going to do this morning, US time. And I have everything up, and I will refresh every once in a while from Court TV, Law and Seawood, and the different pages I can check if a verdict is actually in, including Twitter. So yeah, let's see here. No, nothing new at the moment. All right, are we ready to find out a bit more about Henry Dinkins? Let's start with hi, Fun Size. Good to see you. And Twyla Reese, good morning. Yeah. All right. These are all public records that I'm showing, and I'm allowed to, and so there's nothing illegal or defaming or stuff like that. Everything I show you here is public knowledge. So let's see here. Let's start with what is going on here. What is going on here? Okay, so the court docket I'm looking at kind of doesn't like to that I am showing the different pages. That was weird. Maybe it's been around for too long for me to I had every interesting page up and ready, but no. Well, I guess we have to do a thorough search instead. Oh, that was not what I was anticipating. Huh. That was definitely not what I was anticipating. There. Dun dun dun. Case search. I have to. There. That was fun. I am not a robot. There you have those. Okay. Works over there. Why doesn't it work over here? Let's go on from the beginning. Darn it, I had everything up. Everything up. And it decided to. Nope. There. Okay, let's see if it works this time. Present, share screen, share screen. Yeah, okay, let's see if this works. This is Henry Dinkins' rap sheet. Let's see if I can expand it. Yes, I can. Now, caveat that if there is a person with the exact same name, middle name, and date of birth, it might be more than one person. I don't think so. Nothing here says so. But let's scroll down. Between 1994 and 2021, there are 98 records in the Iowa courts. This is Iowa alone. There are some gaps, probably when he are inside and or when he moved. But it's 98 dockets. In these are between 1 and 7 charges. Yeah. That's interesting. What's not here is it is here. Sorry, I misspoke. But 98 shot. This is one of the longer. I've seen much longer. I've seen longer, but this is one of the longer ones. So it's 98 between 1994, when he was the age of 22, and 2021. That's an average of 4 per year, almost 4 per year, for 27 years. On average. And this is still infuriating because I had everything up. That was really interesting, but let's pick out a few here. Interference with offense. Simple misdemeanor in 2003. But I have a reason for looking for. There is driving no license. So 50% of these charges are him driving around intoxicated or on drugs or with drugs or anything. The reason I'm checking 2003 is because here, 2003, sex offender registry failed to register first offense, 2003. This is because, as you all know, Mr. is not allowed near schools, near daycares, near kids overall. So in 2003, he had his first violation. And here's the thing. His tier restrictions is tier 3 quarterly reviews. That is the highest of the reviews. Tier 1 offenders verify their information every year. Tier 3, every 3 months. So he is considered a dangerous sex offender. But as you see here, 2003, failed to register. Now, let's see here. Next I'm looking for is 2000 and let's see here. Nope, not that one. 2004. Again! Failure to register, second offense. Here you will think that, okay, time to... This guy clearly can't follow the rules for a registered sex offender. Clearly, that's his second offense. Failure to register, second offense. Now let's see. 2007. A third violation. A third violation to register, to follow the rules as a sex offender. How is this guy not locked up forever at this point? Now, 3 times registered as failure to register. Is he moving around? Is he going close to schools? Is he around kids? Yes, or it might all of the above. But how is this happening? Now, 2007, he hasn't. Well, until 2021, that is. And what happened in 2007 after this? Well, here's the thing. It dismissed by court. They charged him, but dismissed. We can't bother. We can't bother. We can't be bothered. That's the Iowa courts. Or the prosecution at the time. We don't care. He's around kids. He's a sex offender. We don't really care. But what happened after this? Well, this is the time he registered his permanent address on his RV. That motorhome of his that stood in the parking space lot, sort of thing. And he's been registered there ever since. In and out of jail for a number of different occasions. And I mean, seriously, the state of Iowa, what the actual F are you doing? And this is not, well, he's been in violation of numerous tickets, but here we come to 2018, more and more. Here's 2019. And look at the disposition date. October 17th, 2019. Operating while under the influence, third offense. Driving while barred, criminal mischief. Now, dismissed, and he pled guilty to that. There are other things in 2019. Also dismissed by court, possession, interference, dismissed. Failure to maintain control, dismissed. Failure to provide proof of financial liability, accident, dismissed. So all he got from that 2019 was he pled guilty for Class D felony, operating while under the influence, third offense. For that, he was given 5 years because finally, and as you saw in 2019, he had. And in this court docket, there are several violations of probation. Several. Throughout the years. There are even in 2001 and another year where he was voluntary. Well, he escaped from jail. Let's just say that. So he's been considered. He is what you would call a career criminal. But they pled down everything here. He was given a sentence for 5 years. And and here is where Iowa dropped the ball again. After 5 months of a 5-year sentence, he was released. He was released in April. May, June, 2.5 months later, Brazier goes missing. 2.5 months after. And yes, he was on parole when this happened. He was on parole when this happened. Some jackass in the Iowa system decided this repeat offender who can't stay away from kids, let's have him out of there. 5 months, that's enough for a 5-year sentence. And 2.5 months later, Brazier disappears. He is not allowed near kids. Yeah, he was on parole when all this happened. And he was having, you heard it in testimony, he was having barbecues with kids over, he was having everything. I mean, new girlfriends visiting, and he managed to get a kid of his own during this, at least one that we know of. And Ivila says he had reason to believe he's above the law. Iowa gave him that impression. Yeah. Everybody in the Iowa justice system failed Brazier. Every single one of them. Yeah. Yeah, he was let out late March, early April. And 2.5 months later, Brazier disappears. And I mean, he's been in violation of his sex offender register 3 times. Why isn't he locked up for? Apparently, in my humble opinion, we have a guy. Now he has no other convictions of attacking kids or essaying kids. He has this one, and from from when he was 17, which would be 1989. And then, after some time, apparently, at age 21, he was released. That's the normal thing with juveniles. He was probably convicted as a juvenile, but enough to be on the register. And they can only hold him until he's 21. And that would put him around 1993. And as you can see, in 1994, there he is. Driving with suspended license, harassing public officer. What else do we have? 1994. Let's see. Yeah. Prohibited acts: manufacture, delivery, possession of controlled substances. He's dealing drugs. This is 1994, the year after he's out from juvie. Then it is a gap between 1994 and 1999, I think. Dun, dun, dun. No, from 1994 to 2000, early 2000s. This gap is not that gap is not because he was a model citizen or because he was in prison. Nobody really knew where he was. But he shows up again in 2001. And yeah, what does he do then? Contempt violation of contact order. What does that mean? That means somebody has put out a restraining order against him and he violated it. That's 2001. Are there other things in 2001? Let's see here. Operation without registration. Well, it's him and cars. He refuses to get a driver's license and he keeps getting cars. And financial liability. So that's 2001. Let's see what we have 2002. Driving while license denied. So he gets caught again. What do we have here? 2002 again. Second degree. Dismissed, of course. Slap on the wrist. Stay out of trouble, young man. Yeah, sure. He seems like the guy who is good at that. Other judgment. This I can't see without paying for it. And I really don't have any interest in 2003. What happens then? Out driving again. Trying to fake false information to law enforcement. Dismissed. Traffic violation because he keeps driving without knowing how to do it. Yeah, Indigo has had a name change. but I don't know why. I like Indigo, but it's her choice. More in 2003. Yeah, that was the sex offender registry. You see it. Yeah, failed to register. What else in 2003? Let's see if he has. Oh, here's another 2003. Theft. Again. Do we have anything 2004? Let's see here. I can't. This is by court docket, not by date. 2004, we know he has another failure to register, as and he also has dismissed, which I can't see. But we know that in 2004, 2003, 2004, and 2007, he was caught being too close to kids. Remember, this was before he met Aisha. Now we know that if he hadn't met Aisha, Aisha would never have been born. But considering what happened, well, in my opinion, if you're caught 3 times violating the conditions of your registry, you're done. You're done. You should be done. It's thank you, goodbye. You will have 3 meals a day in a confined area. So much grief could have been avoided in Iowa if that had just happened. Hi, GD. Hey, GD's here. Everybody say hi to GD, my first and best moderator. Let's see, 2005. Do we have anything in 2005? I don't think so. I think he was in jail or in prison in 2005. So he's not actually imprisoned that often. 2006 then. Or did he manage to stay out of jail, prison, or get caught? No, look at that, 2006. Okay, that's him driving again. Dismissed. Yeah, driving, dismissed. Everything dismissed. Over and over and over again. 2007. Illegal resistance to order or process. Dismissed. Guilty plea default, and it is not public. Yeah, failure to register. That is 3rd time he failed to register in 2007, and by that time he actually has 2 of them. April 19th and November 2nd, the same year. He has 2 different kinds of violating his registry thingies he has to do. I mean, why is he still out at this point in time? Can anybody explain why this guy is out? Or was out? What else in 2007? Financial liability, accident. Yeah, he crashed his car into someone. I don't know how many times he managed to do that. And traffic again. He keeps driving around when he shouldn't. And these are the same. Let's see here, 2007. Theft. 2007. Out driving again. Let's see, 2008. Domestic abuse assault cause bodily. Dismissed. That's 2008. Dismissed. Yeah, that's the same one, sorry. 2008. Interference with official act. So this was voluntary plea. So it was a simple misdemeanor. Plea down again. And here we have again out driving. Out driving. Out driving. Out driving. Guy can't stop getting around in cars even though he's not supposed to. Let's see what this is. Here, finally, habitual offender in 2008. After a good decade. Pleaded guilty. So he gets out of so many things just by pleading out. 2009. Yeah, again, out driving. What else in 2009? Was dismissed. This is when the court recognized that he was a witness to a murder. He wasn't actually involved in it. Yeah, Illinois Judicial Paper has a page on him also. Rock Island County, popular order of protection against him and others. Yeah, I'm focusing on Iowa. I know he's done crap in other states as well. So there's not a year, hardly a month without him committing crimes and being caught for it. Which is also kind of strange how he managed to get rid of every evidence in this trial. Because he is not a clever man who can't stay away from kids. Was the current judge of any of those cases? I don't know. It doesn't show here on the official what I can find out without paying for it. But this was the charge that was dismissed, because the murder charge, because he was a witness. He was not the actual perpetrator in 2009. What else in 2009? Let's see here. Theft, 3rd degree. Theft, 4th degree. Not filed, dismissed. So we got out of that as well. 2010. Let's see. This at the time he was when Brayshaw was born, 2010. So here he had been in a relationship with Aisha for a year and a half. No, 2010, when Aisha was born. So he met Aisha after Aisha was born. But here is when they matched around 2010. Let's see what he did in 2010. Theft. Was it dismissed? No, he pled out. And possession and driving. What else in 2010? Can't see. Pleaded guilty. What else? 2010? Okay, it's streaming. I don't know why. Okay, I changed from router to mobile phone. Hope it helps. Apparently, so just my mic shouldn't be getting wonky. I have with this new mic, so it shouldn't be wonky. That should be the program in the StreamYard and my StreamYard and not talking good, not working good, and my router. But now it seems to be working because my mic should not be wonky. But please let me know if it happens again. Yeah, 2010 driving violation. Let's see what else in 2010. Nope. 2011. Possession and driving again. 2011. Possession of a controlled substance, third or subsequent OWI. I think this is where once it got to court, he was convicted, and then is when DL was born, and he went into jail, and his and Aisha's relationship ended. Because 2011, there was a few other things. Failed to maintain control, yeah, so he was in an accident. Reckless driving, so they couldn't really slap on the wrist, so this is one of the times he actually went to jail. More in 2011. Again. So this time they really couldn't do... yeah. Okay, 2012, I don't think we have anything because he was in jail. No, look at that. Dismissed. But I think 2012 and maybe even 2013, he managed to stay out of trouble, mainly because he was in jail or in prison. 2014, other judgment. Okay, so I can't see that. But he had a judgment against him in 2014. 2015, voluntary absence from custody. That was one of the things I was looking for. And this is what that means. Escape or absence from custody. A person convicted of a felony or charged with or arrested for the commission of a felony who intentionally escapes or attempts to escape from a detention facility, community-based correctional facility. Let's see if that is the... by reason of the conviction, charge, or arrest, or from the custody of any public officer, public employee, or any other person to whom the person have been entrusted commits a Class D felony. So yeah, that was... he tried to escape. And he's still outside. So we have 2003, 2004, 2007 violation of his sex registry obligations. 2015, he escapes or tries to escape from detention center or from custody. And he's still allowed to be outside. Ida Adams, why is the judge taking so long to make a decision? When there is a jury, they hurry them up, and that is 12 people. This is what. What is going on now in the bench trial is the judge not only has to come to the conclusion, to the verdict, he has to then write out why he reached it. So, and that is what might take some time, because when he gives his motivation, whatever verdict it is, he has to motivate everything and avoid any possibilities to have appellate issues in it. So he might already be done with what the verdict is, but not have everything why lined up. That is something a jury will never have to. They only have two options: guilty, not guilty. Those are the two only options. And they don't have to worry about reasoning or why. They don't have to motivate. So that is the difference between a jury trial and the bench trial with a jury verdict. And possibly besides that, he will go to sentencing immediately if he reaches a guilty verdict. So that is why it takes longer for him to announce his verdict. We are now over 150 people here and 58 likes. Please, folks, it's a thumbs up. It's free, and it means a lot for the channel and for me. Okay, no worries, Ida. This is what I am here for, to try to explain the ins and outs of what happens in a trial, why it happens, why a bench trial verdict might take longer. So that's a bit of why I'm doing this. So please, just if you have questions, just ask them. If I don't seem to have seen your question, don't be afraid to ask it again. And I will try to get to it. So yeah, voluntary absence. Yeah, so that was 2015. Let's see 2016. Let's see. Okay, here we are. Here we go. Driving again. Violation of parole. Educate not filed. So he was a suspect, but nothing came out of it. It wasn't even dismissed. It was not filed. Not even a slap on the wrist. What else in 2016? Let's see. Out driving again. And yeah, this is just a ticket. Yeah. Yeah, finally a violation. Yeah, but nothing came of it. Okay, that was 2016. Let's check 2017. I don't think there is anything in 2017. If he was in prison then or something, because he's been in and out for a year, for a few months. He has had longer sentencing, but he managed to get out on parole after just a few months, most of the times. 2018. Driving again. Driving again. Driving again. Driving again. He has escaped from prison. He has third, fourth, and fifth degree theft. He has possession of drugs. He has possession with the intent to sell drugs, transporting drugs, stuff like that. He has violation of what's it called? Oh, what was it now again? Of no contact order. He has resisting arrests in it. He has battery charged in a close relationship, but that was dismissed. So it is everything from petty. Most of it is petty crimes, but then you have all the drugs about it. Who are we talking? Henry Dinkins. He is the man who is charged with the kidnapping and murder of Breasia Terrell. And this is just in Iowa. As somebody stated earlier, in Illinois, he is more charges. Apparently, in Mr. Dinkins' case, they sent him back and then gave him parole. So, yeah. What was it? 2018, yeah. Yeah, traffic violations. 2019, here is when it gets interesting. This is what leads up to him getting the 5-year sentence. Still nothing from... I'm checking all the time. Law and Crime, Court TV, and Twitter and other pages if there is anything going on. But 2019. Let's see, where does it start? Operating while under the influence, driving while bored, criminal mischief, 4th degree. Let's see what that actually... Intentionally damages property. Serious misdemeanor. Dismissed. He pleaded operating while under the influence. But there are other things in 2019. Possession, dismissed. Interference with official acts, dismissed. Failure to maintain control, yeah. Crashed into someone. Failure, yeah, that is. Yeah, so that 2019 was what October 17th was the verdict. A month later, he entered jail. He got a 5-year sentence for all that. 5 years. And he was out after 5 months. 2.5 months before Breasia was kidnapped or disappeared and killed. And even though if you followed my coverage of the trial, you know I've been yelling at the prosecution at times. None of what you see here, none of his priors was allowed in during trial. And in my opinion, they chose to rely too much on DL's testimony because it was too easy for the defense to go about on it and disprove, because he said things that simply wasn't correct, that even the prosecution couldn't spin, as in he saw it happen. He said he was there when Henry and Andrea did it. The Alex Murdoch filing, major jury term. They will have a press conference this afternoon. It will start, I think it is 2:30 Eastern time. And I will put up a stream for it. Yeah, I agree, Darlene. He also said things that could be corroborated. And that is my opinion, that the prosecution should have only used him for corroborating what could be proven by other things, like the cell phone data, like the video of the car and stuff like that. But his accounts on the machete, in my opinion, I think they spent a good day and a half on that machete alone. And in my opinion, it shouldn't have been in the trial at all. I don't think the kid saw anything of it at all. So was it corroborating it? Yes. But when did he corroborate it? Was it before or after the cops were at Aisha's home and telling her about it? Because if it was after, yeah. So the things he the things he said up until they found Breasia, those are the only things, in my opinion, that have evidentiary value. Sal, thank you, but I don't want to know before I stream. I don't want to know what goes on in the Murdoch thingies. Thank you, but I want to go in blank, and then I will research. And this is a Henry Dinkins stream. No worries, Sal. I know. I want to know as well, and I want to give it out to the world. But one thing at a time, please. 2019, yes. So he was given after 5 months. He got out on probation. That brings us to 2020. Violation of parole. Not filed yet. Fugitive from justice. Well, that means they just couldn't find him at the time. So they had an arrest warrant out for him. And this is if Mr. Dinkins should be acquitted. These are what is awaiting him. Sex offender registration, 3 counts. Now, what are those 3 counts? It is picking them up overnight and generally just seeing the kids. Thoughts on to when we can expect a verdict. Court TV expects up to 2 weeks, which would mean sometime in the middle of next week. But I'm having this verdict watch either way because he could be a fast writer. So that I assume that is why it is taking a lot of time. He has to write everything down so he can avoid any appellate issues. But as I said, this is so far it's only 3 counts. I would assume those will be should he be acquitted, found not guilty, there are charges waiting. Because these are just for 1 kid. You can double that because he was having 2 kids in the car. 2 kids in the apartment. And he was living somewhere where there was kids. So you can have 2 counts for each kid. And I would assume they will find anything else to slap on him, because if he's found not guilty, oh yeah, here's the other one. Yeah, so there are 6 charges pending. 6 charges pending. And I would assume they will find everything and anything else. And then we come to 2021. Kidnapping, 1st degree, murder in the 1st degree. Judge may surprise us with a not guilty. I'm really, really afraid that it is a possibility, because in my opinion, the prosecution focused on, they muddle the water too much for me, in my opinion, with the machete, with relying too much on DL, even though he corroborated with a bunch of stuff. He's said stuff that simply couldn't have happened. And that makes him unreliable as a witness. And even when the lead detective Pfeiffer, when asked during cross-examination, do you have what do you put any weight on DL's testimony? And his short answer was no, he did not. So we might have a situation where the prosecution chose another path of prosecuting the case than the investigators wanted. Then you have the issues with not testing for bleach. Even if there's just a small chance they would find residue of bleach, they chose not to. And according to Detective Pfeiffer, it wasn't his choice. The orders to not test came from upstairs. And what else is about those? Again, they had swabs on his hands, under his fingernails, in his area downstairs. That was tested for different things by the FBI. They still have that. To this day, they have that in evidence. The swabs. They could have sent them back and said, now test for gunshot residue. They chose not to. Which, in my opinion, even if the results came back negative, they could still argue it because he washed up, he changed clothes and washed up, probably. So they could have argued against that. But if there was just as a felon, he is not allowed near guns. He's not allowed to have guns. He's not allowed to shoot guns. If they found gunshot residue on his hands or under his fingernails, then we might have had a slam dunk. But they chose not to because they might have been afraid of the result. Yeah, no, but you can always argue that away as a prosecutor. But if they found even the smallest, and another thing they didn't test, the steering wheel. They still have the car in custody. To this day, they have never tested the steering wheel for gunshot residue or bleach. They have not tested anything in that car for bleach residue. Now, trunk, that the defense can explain away because you can store bleach in the trunk of the car. But otherwise, no. They tested the car for blood and bodily fluids. That's it. Nothing for bleach. Not one single piece of evidence in this trial was ever tested for bleach or residue of bleach. Nothing. That is dropping a huge ball. That arguing bleach without testing for bleach is, in my opinion, muddling the waters. Yeah, what they didn't expect was Dinkins opting for a bench trial. And that was 2 days before trial start. He opted for a bench trial. So the entirety of the trial from the prosecution was to get a guilty verdict from a jury. And originally, this trial was set for 5 weeks. 5 weeks. If it had been a jury trial, we would still be on trial watch. Still. And but he opted for a bench trial. So, and in my opinion, that made the prosecution couldn't change gear from jury trial to bench trial, because once it became a bench trial, it became a 20-day trial scheduled. They were done with closing arguments on day 14. So from jury trial to bench trial, the prosecution's case was cut in half, time-wise. That tells me that they had more testimony arguing emotions, which would have worked, I believe, on a jury. But they couldn't change gear from a jury trial to a bench trial. And that's on the prosecution. There shouldn't be a difference between a bench trial and a jury trial. Maybe in a jury trial you have to use more layman terms. No verdict is in yet, so we don't know. It might take up to 2 weeks to get there. That's according to Court TV, who believes it will take up to 2 weeks. But let's see here. Nothing on Court TV. Nope. Law and C-word. Nope, nothing new in. Did they find any of Brasher's DNA in car or on him? They never searched. They never tested. They never tested for Brasher's DNA in the car. They searched for blood and bodily fluids, but they didn't test for DNA in the car. They tested for blood and bodily fluids on Mr. Dinkins, but they deemed that since she was in his proximity, testing DNA, her DNA on him, would not prove anything. So they never tested for DNA. And not testing for DNA, for instance, they have more or less a handheld vacuum. Every crime lab has it, with a filter. Everything is spotless once they start. They could have vacuumed the entirety of the inside of the Impala for hair, traces. You shed skin cells, anything. Because Brasher, before 3:30 a.m. that night, she had never been inside that car. They worked on the assumption that she was in the car. But there is no witness who actually places her inside the car. Which again is amazingly bad work from. And according to my humble opinion about the investigation, the investigator, Mr. Pfeiffer, he wanted those tests. But people upstairs said no. Oh, hi, Evil Queen. Happy to find. I'm happy you're here. I'm very happy you're here. Thank you for choosing me for waiting for a verdict. And I don't think anybody else is currently doing a verdict watch. But I have this. I have to see a trial through. I just have to. And how much I have shouted on the prosecution during this trial, do I believe Dinkins did it? Yes. Do I believe there's enough circumstantial evidence in there, in the trial, to convict him? Maybe. The problem is not testing for her DNA in the car. Not testing anything for a residue of bleach or bleach. Nothing was tested for bleach. Not testing for gunshot residue neither on him or in the car. No, it's not in yet. We are still waiting. So this verdict watch, we have been going through Mr. Dinkins' rap sheet from 1994 up to 2021. And I saw here, girlfriend Andrea, she did absolutely nothing to save this child. She was not forthcoming to the police when first questioned. No, that's an interesting turn of events. And she was vigorously defending him the first couple of days before she admitted that, yes, she saw Briesha outside on the side of the car. Not in the car, on the side of the car. It took a few days before she admitted to that. And why? I have no idea. I have no freaking idea. I wish I knew, but I can't fathom anyone waking up in the middle of the night discovering that a child is gone. Brenda says no DNA anywhere, not even his. Here's the thing, they didn't test for DNA. So it's not that they didn't find DNA. They never tested for DNA. They tested his trailer for blood and other bodily fluids, but not actual DNA. They didn't do a vacuum of his motorhome. Nothing. They never actually searched for her DNA anywhere. Camera said where there will be a recording of her near the car in the night. Not in that parking lot, apparently. There are... his car is being seen all over the place and filmed at the gas station, but he had very, very tinted windows. Was he in custody when she was defending him? Yes. Oh, wait. They held him a couple of days. From as soon as he found out he was a suspect, he clammed up. We have that an hour and a half interview with him, but that's it. After that, he clammed up. Yeah, so yeah, currently we are still waiting for any signs from the court that the judge has reached a verdict. Now, this judge has other things on his docket. So, so this verdict watch is just in case, and we will go on until on top of this hour. I believe if he reach a verdict, he will announce he has, and then set a time for when he is actually moving forward. Because currently, Mr. Dinkins is in county jail. His lawyers are elsewhere. The prosecution has other things. So he has to, in the bench trial, he has to announce that he has reached a verdict. Then people will have a few hours to gather, because Dinkins has a right to be there. His defense attorneys needs to be there, and the prosecution needs to be there. So there is a bunch of things that needs to happen, and if he has a verdict in, no matter what it is, they have to prepare for victim impact statements and such. Brenda says here, her clothes did get tested for bleach. No, not according to the ME, not according to the FBI. So that's not my recollection of the testimony. But if you have who testified to it, then I can go look for it and see if I remember wrong. Everybody, I have no issues with people correcting me if I slip up on something or if I mistook something. Au contraire, please tell me. Please tell me. But I don't know. Not according to the ME, her clothes was tested for, because hence the prosecution showed the discoloration, and by that, through logic, said this must be from bleach. This must be from bleach, but it was never nothing was ever tested for bleach, and that is. Oh, Vice's raid. Thank you, Jeff. Hey, I'm going to invite Jeff and Chandler and everybody. Dun dun dun. Where are you, Jeff? There. Lorax says hi. Yay! Chandler. And so Jeff and Chandler. Yeah, so they have links if they want to join me. Isis raid. Woo! Hey, everybody. We have today, for the past hour or so, we have been going through Henry Dinkins' rap sheet in Iowa. And he has 98 dockets, or in entrances in the docket, between 1994 and 2021. Yay! Lorax is high. Vice's raid. Wee! Hey, everybody. Have you had a fun time with the reading of the sidebars? And while you're here, hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Hey. Hello. Jesus, there's a lot of you. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, so we are waiting for the judge. He has not announced he has reached a verdict yet, but since we have all had the Labor Day weekend, just in case, that he took that Labor Day weekend to actually write everything out. If he reaches a guilty verdict, he has to motivate everything to avoid appellate issues. If he votes not guilty, or if he says not guilty, then he has to motivate that so he can keep his job. I mean, and it can't be a hung jury because it's just one. Was Bree's mom aware? Well, she definitely was aware of him being a career criminal. That definitely. Did she know he was on the registry? He had, I don't know, his violations of the registry was before they met. He had 3 violations, one in 2003, 2004, 2007. So, in my opinion, if you violate the terms of the sex offenders registry 3 times, you should be locked up, because that tells me you're not supposed to be near kids, and you can't stop yourself from being around kids. This news video above tells Henry's DNA was not even found in trailer. News reports and what is actually said in trial are 2 different things. Sometimes. And from what my recollection of the testimony was that they didn't search for Henry's DNA because it's apparent that it should have been there, so it wouldn't prove anything. What's infuriating to me was that they only, what I recall, they only tested the van, the car, the apartment for blood and bodily fluids. Not for hair, not for skin or touch DNA. Okay, then my recollection is somewhat skewed. But that if they tested for DNA, they only tested it on the cutouts. They didn't actually vacuum to find other things. I will go back and have a rewatch of the MEs, and I will have a rewatch of that, and I will do a speed through of the trial and see if I can't find that, and I will have that in a later stream, because we will have more verdict watches. Why do you think the state rested so quick? It seemed abrupt. The prosecution, in my opinion, couldn't switch gears from a jury trial to a bench trial. So if originally this was a 5-week trial, 5-week jury trial. Once it became a bench trial, it was down to 20 days. The closing arguments was on day 14. So the prosecution cut the state's case in half, or more than half, just because it became a bench trial. Do we have other questions that I missed? Yeah, we are waiting for any signs of verdict. As I said earlier, there's much to plan for a bench trial verdict, because Mr. Dinkins is in jail, awaiting the judgment. So they need to get him over to the courthouse. It has to fit in the lawyer's schedule. At least one of them has to be there. His main lawyer and his sidekick. Prosecution has to have someone available to go there from the prosecution's team. So it's a planning thing. So the judge needs to announce to the parties and to the court that he has reached the verdict, and then it can be hours before we actually know anything. And this is why I chose to have this morning, Iowa time, because if it's not up until top of this hour, it will probably not happen today. I will have everything ready to go on stream on a moment's notice if he chooses this afternoon. The judge can conflate information from other trials with this one. He should have decided without delay. It doesn't really work that way. Not only does he needs to have the verdict, he needs to have his opinion about the verdict ready. And he needs to write the opinion of his life to avoid every kind of appellate issues. Hey, we are getting better at the likes, but not even 50%. Folks, it's right around somewhere over there, I think. Thumbs up. So if you're here, and apparently there's a bunch of you who has been here for almost all of my stream, and then Vices showed up with a bunch of folks, and please, pretty please, hit that thumbs up. Makes the channel grow and everything. Yeah, all the YouTuber things. Shouldn't take a week. This is the difference between a bench trial and a jury trial. A jury can take an hour. They can take 3 days. They rarely take longer than that, nowadays at least. There are some trials who are several months long. They can take a couple of weeks. But in a bench trial, not only it has to be the verdict itself, you can combine it with the opinion that he has to write out. He has to find the case law to back his opinion up. And if it's sentencing too, then he needs to have victims' impact statements. So they have to be close to the courthouse. So everybody needs to assemble. So there's a lot of different things that has to fit together for the verdict to be read out, if he chooses to do a verdict and sentencing all in one. Stray says, I'm not getting any notifications for Nick lately. YouTube is... yeah, I know. And please, if you think you are subscribed to me, check again, because sometimes YouTube unsubscribes people. I don't know why, but that's something they do at times. And I am refreshing all the channels I have for the verdict. If anything is out there, no news so far. Do we have any other questions? Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, and as I said, this 2-hour stream will go over to it's Tuesday, and on my channel it means that it is Yodi Day today at noon Eastern time, 6 p.m. my time over here. And today David can't be on, so Steve Gosney has agreed to be on for an hour at least. Hearsay is that he had some illegal Google searches. Well, that wasn't allowed in for some reason, as in pre-trial. But yeah, I think it is in here. Oh, come on. Oh, here we go again. Sometimes the Iowa court registered users are limited to 1,000 searches per calendar day. Okay. Maybe that's why. Let's see here. Click here to search. Case search. Dinkins, Henry. Oh, I am not a robot. Search. Okay, let's see if we can find it again. Dun dun dun. This is the disposition status closed. It means that they had a search warrant out for it, but they don't tell about the result of it. And this is his Kings Highway motorhome. That's the search warrant for that. Chevy Impala. That's that. Cell phone, person. That's the address. And this is only... And then somehow this asshole had a black 2019 Dodge Challenger. And how does someone who has no job, how can he afford? Well, we know, drugs. He's a career criminal. And yeah. And he also drove around in that other sports car. Was it his or Andreas? I don't know. Nebraska plate. Let's see if we can find. No. Can we see if I can. I can't make a search for it. Oh well. Not much to do about that. Yeah, a few who are completely new here. This is Mr. Dinkins' rap sheet. In Iowa. He has a bunch of them in Illinois as well. He has 98 entries. 98. And yeah, this is just expired registration. No driver's license. So he has never had a valid driver's license. And still he was driving around everywhere. He has, at least what I can see there, 2 accidents, at least, which he caused. And the latest one was, he was convicted of that one in October of 2019. That was the 5-year sentence he served 5 months on. So he was out on parole after 5 months on a 5-year sentence. He was out in late March, early April, and 2.5 months later, Briasia disappears and ends up dead. Yeah, come on, folks, hit that like button. Keeps me motivated to Well, I will still have verdict watches on this. Tomorrow, I'm having meet up with David on MLS, Law Show, and the Broken Baker. We will be meeting up here in Sweden, and we will have a ferry ride between Helsingborg and Helsingör. But if anything happens in this tomorrow, I will have my laptop with me, so I will always be able to go online, go on stream immediately if anything happens tomorrow. But this has been in the plans for quite some time, the meetup, and yeah. And it's not often you have the chance of getting together with Baker and David at once. So we will have some fun times tomorrow. Am I drinking? No, I'm having Pepsi in a Coke glass because I'm a rebel. Well, throughout the years, he has only received slap on the wrist. That's it. If he is sent to prison, he is out within months. So whatever happens, he's out in a few months. Whatever happened. And for me, it's the one thing that infuriates me the most are 2003, 2004, 2007. He is in violation of his registry obligations 3 times. For me, that would be, yeah, you're away. You can't stay away from kids. We need to lock you up forever, in my opinion. But Iowa seems to not. And he has during this keeps driving around even though he has no license, causes accidents. He's been escaping on one occasion at least from custody, jail, or prison. So they have to reel him back in. Still only a slap on the wrist. He has domestic violence charges, dismissed. He has violation of protection order, dismissed. So, I mean, there's dismissal after dismissal, and then he pleads out and he gets a slap on the wrist. Yeah, this will be the first time me, Baker, and David will meet in person. So that will be amazing. I saw that. Will I do a member zone? Yeah, of some sort. I think at least so I can have my phone out and everybody saying hi or record something with all of us in it. Sorry. Okay, interested party wants our child support. Okay. Thank you. But at one point he was a pro se defendant. Yeah, on this one. These are charges pending. Just so you know. This is in violation of the sex offender list. Let's see if I can do it like this instead. These are pending. Should Mr. Dinkins be found not guilty, he has these 3, and yeah, so there are 6 charges in total. So for what I assume is being around the kids, driving around with the kids, and having kids staying overnight. And I would assume that if he's found not guilty, each of those will bring in the maximum. And hopefully this time he will stay the full time in not concession. Well, he has to. They are stacked, not put together into one. So let's see here. Let's see what the it is a Class D felony. Let's see. What the maximum penalty is a maximum of 10 years in prison. So it applies to his son as well. He has 3 charges on each kid that was in that apartment. He's not allowed near kids, period. He's not allowed near schools. He's not allowed near daycare centers. He's not. And that is why after 2007, his permanent home is that motorhome. That's his address, because that is enough far away for him to not violate. Yeah, so each of these charges have a maximum penalty of 10 years, and he has 6 charges pending. And thank you, consecutive. So I would assume, would he be found not guilty on this, they will put. I hope, for the love of everything holy, that he will be charged and sentenced to the maximum served consecutively. That will be 60 years. Out after eligible for parole after 75%. That would be 50 years, somewhat around that. 45, 50 years. At that time, he's over 90. And I don't think he will stay alive that long. Hi, Tweety Pie. In the state, is it the person that is attacked in the domestic violence that presses charges, or the police? Both, I think, in the United States can be. But if the person who does the charge is not cooperative, they more or less every time they are getting dismissed, because it's hard to collect evidence on it. In Australia, it's the police, and the person has no say if it is reported. It's the same in Sweden. If there is a domestic violence report, the police is the one making the charges. Has the verdict come in? No. Not yet. Still waiting. Oh, Eris says many states no longer give the option of pressing charges. Okay, good. That way offenders, perpetrators can't scale. Even if the victim is too afraid, that should only mean that let's place her or him somewhere else and we will handle this. You just have to show up to court. And if you don't testify, the cops will testify to what they noticed and what they saw. So no, the verdict is not in yet. And I will continue for 10 more minutes or something like that. Or 8 minutes, 9 minutes, some of the sort. And then we will go over to the Jodi Arias trial, where I am being joined by Steve Gosney today, because David can't join. He have traveled to Sweden, to his wife's family, and they are spending time together, of course. And tomorrow, me, David, and Baker will meet up. Aris asked, do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing that the verdict is not in yet? I think the longer it takes, the probability of a guilty verdict enhances, because the judge not only has to reach a verdict, he has to motivate it as well. This is something the jury doesn't have to worry about. But since it's a bench trial, he, besides having the verdict, he has to avoid every appellate issue. So the longer it takes, it is because perhaps, I can't be sure, the judge has to find the case law and the reasoning and every possible appellate issue. Because, as I said, I believe that the prosecution muddled the water a lot in this trial. And which means if the judge reaches a guilty verdict, he has to navigate through all of that to avoid appellate issues. I agree with him. If what he is charged with, yeah, that's not going to be popular inside. But then again, he is a big guy, and he's been in and out on occasions his entire life. But this is a whole different show. Oh yeah, there's a lot of you here, and I noticed that a bunch of you are not members. So if my memberships is $3 a month, and that gives you members only content, as in I'm making tiny films around my farm, morning thoughts, and a lot of these small videos just to keep you guys entertained. And I will probably film a bit tomorrow with me, Baker, and David on the ferry. We might have a beer or a few. Yeah, I understand, Johan, but the jury only needs to reach the verdict without having any opinion, or they don't have to motivate. The judge on a bench trial has to navigate all these things that I previously said. He has to avoid every single appellate issue in his opinion about the verdict. So it's not just having the verdict ready. He has to motivate it, and he has to navigate that. Hey, Melissa. Yeah, I will be doing another one on Thursday. Thursday I might have a travel day, but it's Friday I will have something set up for Verdict Watch. But I will, at any point, I will be near my laptop or computer, so I can set up a stream the moment I hear that a verdict is in. This verdict stream was just in case. It's been Labor Day weekend. The judge might have taken the Labor Day weekend to write that speech of his life. And So this is a just in case verdict watch, and so far nothing is in. And as I said earlier, there's a lot of things that has to be navigated. Even if he reached the verdict, everybody needs to be in the courtroom. Even if he sends it in, the defendant has the option to be there. His lawyers, or one of them, has to be there. Prosecution team, one of them has to be there. If they are doing sentencing at the same time, it's victim impact statements that has to be coordinated. So might take some time from him reaching a verdict, letting everybody know, to that when they actually assembles in the courtroom. Yeah, I agree. This is the process, and sometimes it has to take time. Better it takes a few days extra and get it right than fast and the judge will give out a free appellate issue. Okay. It is. I have 4 minutes before my next stream begins, which means that I have to set a few things up. It doesn't seem like we will have a verdict today. So let's see if I have everything set up. Probably not. Dun, dun, dun. There. Saved. Okay, so I will be sending you all off to the Jodi Arias stream, which today I will have with Mr. Steve Gosney. It will begin in 3 minutes. So I will be sending you off there so you can press the like and everything, and then just wait a few minutes while I run off to take a quick leak and start next stream. Thank you all for showing up. I hope this was an informative stream. Hit the like button and every YouTube thing. And I will see you in a few minutes when we are covering the Jodi Arias trial from 2013. And Jodi Arias is on the stand. All right. Thank you all. And I'll see you all in a bit. Bye-bye.